Having babies is pretty common for women, right? But what happens when a man becomes pregnant? Welcome to the quirky and hilarious story of Sergei, a news reporter in Russia, who finds himself in this utterly unexpected situation. Sergei lives with his wife, Dana, and for the past 2 years, they've been trying to conceive. Despite their best efforts, changing spots, creating the perfect mood, and staying very active, Sergei proudly admits they do it every night. Nothing seemed to work. Frustrated and confused, Sergei consults a therapist to figure out what's wrong. The therapist tells Sergei that his thoughts are about to turn into reality and he needs to be cautious. Sergei doesn't really get it but doesn't question it either. On his way to work, he calls his friend Zora, a lawyer who's struggling after losing his last 8 cases. He's in serious money trouble with 2 daughters and now he's trying to have a son. After their chat, Sergei heads to his show set to kick off the day with his co-host. Meanwhile, Dana is at an art exhibition showcasing her photography. As always, Sergei is running late. When she calls him, he confidently lies, saying, "I'm already in the car. I'll be there in 5 minutes." But as soon as Sergei steps outside, he sees that his car has been towed. Turns out, he parked in a no-parking zone. Knowing Dana will catch his lie the moment he doesn't show up, Sergei decides to skip the exhibition altogether and heads to a bar with his buddy Zora instead. The bar, Zora excitedly announces that his wife is 1 month pregnant. Zora is sure this time it's a boy. But how can he be so sure? Because he wore woolen shoes during their moment of magic. Yep, you heard that right, woolen shoes. His family firmly believes that wearing woolen shoes guarantees the birth of a son. Zora proudly claims that this quirky superstition has worked for his father, his grandfather, and now he's betting it'll work for him too. Sergei isn't sure whether this is the most ridiculous thing he's ever heard, or if he should head out and buy some wool shoes of his own. The next day is Valentine's Day, and Sergei and Dana visit the spot where they first met 5 years ago. Place holds a special meaning for them, and they make a heartfelt promise to return one day with their future children. On their way home, Sergei takes a detour to buy a pair of woolen shoes. Inspired by Zora's odd family superstition, he's now determined to give it a try. That night, after the magic moment, Sergei carefully removes the shoes and holds them close to his chest like a trophy, convinced that this small act will finally bring them a child. Still too excited to sleep, Sergei gets up and walks to the window. With hope in his heart, he prays for a baby, his mind filled with dreams of becoming a father. Just as he finishes his silent wish, he spots a shooting star streaking across the night sky. 10 days later, Sergei is hosting a segment in his studio about a chicken named Sonia. But Sonia isn't just any chicken. She's a celebrity. This remarkable bird predicts the winners of soccer matches by laying eggs. The number of eggs she lays supposedly matches the number of goals the winning team will score. While reporting this bizarre yet fascinating story, Sergei suddenly feels nauseous and rushes off camera to throw up. Embarrassed, he apologizes to everyone and quickly gets back to work. What he doesn't realize yet is that his strange condition is only the beginning of something much bigger. Later that day, Sergei is out shopping at the market when something unusual catches his eye: a shelf full of pickles. Normally, Sergei can't stand anything sour, but today he feels an irresistible craving. When Sergei shares this strange incident with Zora, his friend bursts into laughter. "Dude, is this some kind of pregnancy craving or what?" he jokes. First, Sergei laughs it off too, but then his mind flashes back to that night with the shooting star. Could it actually be possible? The idea seems ridiculous, but at the same time, he can't completely shake the thought. That night, Sergei sneaks into the closet and grabs one of Dana's pregnancy test kits. Determined to prove his wild theory, he decides to test himself. At first, he sees 2 lines on the kit and breathes a sigh of relief, thinking it means he's not pregnant. But when he read the instruction, his jaw drops. 2 lines mean positive. In disbelief, Sergei takes the test again and again, but every single time those 2 stubborn lines appear. The idea of being pregnant is so absurd that after a while, he can't help but burst into laughter, staring at the kit like it's playing a prank on him. The next morning, Sergei sits down for breakfast with another jar of pickles. Dana, noticing his bizarre behavior, can't help but ask, "What's going on with you?" Gathering his courage, Sergei blurts out, "I'm going to be a father." Dana freezes, her eyes narrow. A father, she snaps, jumping to the conclusion that Serge must have cheated on her and gotten another woman pregnant. But when Sergei clarifies that he's the one who's pregnant, Dana's anger skyrockets. She's convinced he's either pulling an elaborate prank or has completely lost his mind. However, Sergei just wants Dana to be happy about this groundbreaking development, but he quickly realizes that it's going to take her some time to wrap her head around the idea of her husband becoming both a father and a mother. That evening, Sergei's parents and Zora's family come over for dinner. Seizing the moment, Sergei drops the bombshell. Sergei confidently says, "I'm pregnant." The room goes silent. Everyone exchanges baffled looks, unsure if they heard him right. Trying to stay calm, his parents gently explain, "Son, that's just not possible. There's no way this can happen." But Sergei isn't in the mood to argue. Frustrated by their disbelief, he storms out of the room, leaving the stunned group behind. And then the blame game begins. Sergei's father turns to his mother, saying, "This is all your fault. Remember all that yoga you did during your pregnancy? You messed up his insides. Now look at him. Our son thinks he's a woman." The next morning, Sergei grabs a pregnancy book and begins searching for symptoms that match his condition. Instead of dwelling on the absurdity of it all, he focuses on getting ready for the baby. After calculating his due date, Sergei determines the baby should arrive in October. Determined to do everything right, he quits smoking and starts gobbling down pickles like there's no tomorrow. As time passes, Dana begins to accept her husband's bizarre pregnancy. She starts caring for him like he's the one actually carrying the child. By the 4th month, Sergei's belly begins to grow noticeably. To prepare, he starts attending pregnancy classes, pretending he's only there to support Dana. Surprisingly, no one questions him much. Most people assume he's just a very involved husband who wants to experience pregnancy alongside his wife. While Sergei's family knows the truth, he decides to keep his pregnancy a secret from the rest of the world. After all, how do you explain something like this without being labeled a lunatic? In the 5th month, Sergei goes to see a gynecologist with his wife for the first time. But as soon as the doctor finds out that it's Dana's husband who's pregnant, they refuse to conduct the checkup. Frustrated, Sergei and Dana visit multiple doctors, only to face rejection at every turn. Finally, they meet Dr. Tikhonov, a struggling physician who opened his clinic 2 months ago but hasn't had a single patient yet. Desperate to kickstart his practice, Dr. Tikhonov eagerly agrees to take Sergei's case. The doctor tells to lie down on the delivery bed, but Sergei is completely confused. How is he supposed to lie down? The next day at work, he learns that Zora has sold his pregnancy story to a news channel for money. Within hours, Sergei's bizarre situation becomes a global sensation. As soon as the news breaks, everyone becomes fascinated by the idea of a pregnant man, and Sergei becomes an overnight sensation. The story spreads like wildfire, and people on the streets, in buses, and everywhere else start recognizing him as the pregnant man. This new fame only makes Sergei feel worse. He wanted to keep this a secret, but now his private life is out in the open. Angry, he confronts Zora, but Zora doesn't care about this matter at all. In fact, he's already planning his next big idea. He says, "This is just the start. I've got even better ideas that'll make us both millionaires." First, Sergei is furious with Zora. He yells at him, saying he doesn't want to sell his pregnancy story and use his unborn child to make money. But after some time to cool off, Sergei begins to realize that money isn't such a bad thing after all. From that day on, Sergei starts appearing on TV shows and programs, embracing his role as the pregnant man. He even starts doing advertisements for pregnancy products. His popularity skyrockets in just a few weeks. Wherever he goes, the media and camera crews are right behind him. It's not just Sergei who's in the spotlight anymore. His entire family starts getting interviewed too. One day, while Sergei is at a restaurant, a gay couple approaches him. They're curious and want to know how a man can get pregnant. Sergei has absolutely no idea how he ended up pregnant, but he still decides to give them some advice. With a straight face, he tells them just wear woolen shoes when you're, doing it. Later, when Sergei visits the doctor again, they confirm that he's indeed having a boy. He chuckles to himself, all thanks to the magical woolen shoes, of course. As Sergei leaves the doctor's office, reporters swarm around him once again. He's so caught up in their questions that he doesn't even notice Dana has fallen behind. Ever since he became famous, he's stopped showing Dana the love he used to. Things start to spiral as Sergei gets his own TV show where he gives advice to women on how to be better mothers. Zora makes a lot of money off the show too, but the more work Sergei gets, the more he drifts away from his wife and family. In one episode, Sergei asks his entire family to come to a restaurant to talk about his pregnancy, but Dana, furious, screams at the cameraman and storms out. Soon after, the rest of the family follows, leaving Sergei all alone. For the first time, Sergei realizes he's let his newfound fame get to his head, but just as he plans to make things right, he faces another challenge. A group of religious protesters starts demonstrating against him, condemning his unnatural pregnancy. As public hatred grows, a rival TV network files a lawsuit against him, accusing him of fraud. They claim his pregnancy is a hoax and he's deceiving people to make money. The first hearing, Zora barely manages to speak a word, while the opposing lawyer's powerful arguments start swaying everyone in the courtroom. The lawyer even presents Sergei's bank account details, showing the huge profits he made after his pregnancy became public. At home, Dana urges Sergei to stop all this and live a normal life again, but in a fit of anger, Sergei yells at her. In the second hearing, Zora brings Sergei to court and proudly shows off his growing belly to everyone. He even presents the ultrasound report as evidence of his pregnancy. But the opposing lawyer isn't backing down. She calls Sergei's gynecologist to the stand, claiming that since Sergei was the doctor's first patient, his experience with such a complicated case is limited. To make things worse, she presents another study, where experienced doctors assert that it's biologically impossible for a man to get pregnant. Maybe those doctors have never heard of the woolen shoes theory, of course. As the hearing wraps up, it seems like Sergei might actually lose the case. After a day of interviews, when Sergei returns home, he finds that Dana has left him. He is stunned and realizes how poorly he has been treating her lately. Sergei knows the only way to regain Dana's trust is to let go of everything, his fame, his show, and his outlandish journey, and return to a simple, ordinary life. The next hearing, Sergei doesn't show up at court. Zora is flustered, but despite the chaos, he delivers a heartfelt speech about being a great mother. Courtroom erupts in applause, but just as it seems like Sergei might win the sympathy of the court, something unexpected happens. The judge receives a video that Sergei had sent. Zora, without thinking much, urges the court to play it. As the video plays, the room falls silent. In the video, Sergei admits that his pregnancy was a hoax. He apologizes to everyone who believed in him, especially to Dana, who always supported him. Hearing this confession, the judge declares Sergei guilty and imposes a fine of 10 million rubles. All those who had supported Sergei are left utterly disappointed, feeling betrayed by the man they once believed in. Sergei meets Dana at their favorite place, and he sincerely apologizes for being a bad husband. Dana forgives him, but in that moment, Sergei realizes that the time for the baby's delivery might have arrived. In a rush, Sergei is quickly taken to the hospital. The doctors work swiftly and successfully perform a C-section. It's a tense moment, but the delivery goes smoothly. Sergei apologizes to his entire family for his behavior over the past few months and declares that he has chosen love over fame. Just then, Dana brings the baby and places it in Sergei's arms for the first time. In that precious moment, Sergei is overwhelmed with joy and gratitude, realizing that his journey, no matter how bizarre it had been, it has led him to this beautiful new beginning, a family, love, and the chance to be a better man. We see 3 years later, Dana is showcasing her photographs at an art exhibition, which she took during Sergei's pregnancy. Their son is now grown and playing with Zora's daughters. A few months later, Dana stands by the same window and prays for twin children. This time, 2 shooting stars appear. Her wish comes true, and now both Dana and Sergei are pregnant at the same time. Now, the woolen shoes definitely deserve a like. So friends, be sure to share your thoughts about the story in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching up to this point. And if you really enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and share this video, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell icon. See you in the next video. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Goodbye for now.